And I'm back again with a Solid Sanctuary video. This time I'm going to go through the top 5 most annoying bosses in the game. This actually took me a while to make this list only because in the beginning there was a lot of bosses that I found annoying, but as I kept going through the game, continuously playing it over and over again, I actually started realizing there are certain bosses that are actually not as annoying as I thought. However, these 5 in particular actually are annoying for specific reasons. Bear in mind this is my list and it's also my opinion, so if you don't like it, that's fine. I don't give a shit. Alright, let's start. So at number 5, I have the Bloodless Prince. Now I know this is technically one of the easier bosses in the game, but the only real reason he's on this list is because the fist, I guess for his attacks, his shockwaves that he produces with his fist attacks are a bit annoying. They do clip you despite what your investment is. Now I can definitely see some people criticizing this one because they think this boss is super easy. Don't get me wrong, this boss is really easy. I honestly think the only reason you would lose to this boss is if you're just not doing enough damage and you can't survive his attacks even though he doesn't do a lot of damage. But yeah, he's slightly annoying, which is the only reason on the list. At number 4, we have the Nameless God. Now, I know this is somewhat unfair because he's the final boss in the game, and usually final bosses are meant to be challenging in a way. But the reason why he's on the list in terms of annoyance is the fact that he actually does delayed strings. You think out of all my experience of going through all these bosses, I would get used to this shit. Sometimes I actually forget he does delayed strings and stuff. He also hits fucking hard as hell, so you gotta get used to that shit. Other than that, though, that's literally the only reason he's on this list. He is slightly annoying, a little bit more than the Bloodless Prince, but he hits harder though, so that's the only exception. But yeah, he's slightly annoying though. At number 3, I have the Mad Alchemist. Now, before everyone starts flooding the comments, let me give you this one. Okay, he's very RNG based. Basically, it's a 50-50, whether you kill him quickly or he kills you quickly. But I think that's kind of enough to prove that he's actually an annoying boss. You don't have to be the strongest boss in the game to prove you can be annoying. If you have a gimmick that actually can deem you annoying by beating somebody really quickly or having the ability to be beaten down quickly, it's pretty dope. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the Mad Alchemist is definitely a cool boss. This definitely counts for annoyance to me, and at least he's in the middle of the pack. If he was number 1, I guess a lot of people would talk shit. But I think 3rd place is good enough, except for the other 2, though. Number 2, I have the Third Lamb. Okay, I think I've solidified this boss as just one of those bosses I just don't like at all. Mainly because of his last phase, where he just gets extremely fast for no fucking reason. It's not the attacks that I find a threat, it's just the fact that how quick he just continuously attacks, and different patterns and shit. And sometimes when you try to clip him out before the end, it sometimes kills you, which kind of does suck. And he's also one of those bosses you fight in the middle of the game, so if you're not properly invested and he says fuck you to your shit. The only reason he's number 2 and not number 1 is because I actually found one other boss I found way more annoying than the Third Lamb. At least the Third Lamb is slightly more manageable once you understand him, but he's still a fucking nuisance though, which is the reason he's on the list. Now, the last one shouldn't be a shock to a lot of people, but I guess I'm going to shock. And number 1 is Kraken Dragon Scores. There should be no surprise to any Solid Sanctuary veterans out there about this boss. This boss just basically has everything all the other bosses have that I mentioned earlier. He's tanky, he can hit fucking hard, he's got the best resistances in the game, his last phase sucked balls, and he has 2 specific attacks that are really, really fucking annoying. Yeah, I'm talking about his fucking arcane breath and his fucking spear lance shit. I don't get how that fucking clips. It makes no sense. This boss to me is one of the most annoying in the game. Although there's times where I can beat this boss with no difficulty, I still can't deny how annoying this boss is. It's definitely one of the cooler looking bosses though, so I'll give that in points though. But it definitely solidifies as the most annoying boss in the game for me currently. This list might change in the future, but as of right now, this stays as it is. You're welcome to watch all my other Solid Sanctuary content I have. The playlist is in the description below. So, no, thanks for watching, guys. Stay fearless.